brings people together, and then it's generative. It's not just let's talk to you and you talk to us. It's we create together something new.
And so our goal in thinking about creative space was to say, how do we open up beyond the education training sphere, places where people gather and have significant learning or significant planning or strategic thinking or just creative outlets. And that's where the 3-year cycle of sort of the consultation conference and writing workshop came.
Space for people to talk about what they've been doing, how they've been doing it, with whom they've been doing it, and what needs they have that they can actually get from each other, which is another way of expressing the learning process.
It has to do with a fundamental understanding of knowledge and practice. And in the traditional way of thinking, knowledge is drawn from abstract thinking and pure research, and then you think about the practice. And we're saying, no, actually knowledge is happening at both those locations. And when you pull them together and say, what did we learn, both from pure research, like neurobiology research that's very, done in the laboratory, hooking people to PET scans and seeing what their brain does, what does that knowledge teach us, and what does the field level experience teach us, and when you put them together, what does that mean for what we should do? One of the things I really appreciate about being here is that this is an academic institution that responds to people's requests for help.
That series of consultation that we're looking at, we're over a 3-year period for each consultation, and weaving those consultations and those conferences and so forth together on this campus through the SPI experience is really a solid understanding of how we want to engage more fully many members of our network.
One of the questions is, how do you bring that knowledge up so that it gets published and has an opportunity to influence the way the money's distributed, the way evaluations happen of what is good work? And one way to do that is to create a location where practitioners can really talk about what they're learning, and then the academics who are located at the university can help pull that knowledge together, feed it back, and get it published, and then go share it with policymakers and policy implementers and donor organizations to say, no, actually, the way real change seems to be happening is this way, not the way it was derived from a more abstract theory.
Thinking of how we could use this space to form and influence and build the field. So that's somewhat behind this 3-year cycle, and I'm excited about that new space.
This year we started with the STAR, with the trauma program, with the consultation, which brought together practitioners, maybe 35 or so people from 11 countries, to talk about best practices, what's working, what needs to be changed.
If we're really serious about teaching practice, then we need to be in touch with practitioners closely, right? We need to be all the time talking with people who are doing the work day in and day out.
Because we have such a network of practitioners, all of these people who respect us, and because we have an academic set of credentials, we may be a location that can help that encounter.
Our theory of change around that is providing, again, the space and place to talk about particular areas of interest will then bring people to those areas of interest in this physical place called CJP SPI.